Hi Crypto Kings and Queens, in today's episode we're gonna go through Bitcoin and Ethereum. Looking at the weekly chart, we can see that we're having huge momentum to the upside. Even now we're going down to the lower time frames, and I'm gonna give you targets on what I can see, what might can happen if the market pulls back, and what we can do about these targets. Looking at Ethereum, we do have this head and shoulder, and we just might have our neckline right here. So if we are seeing the market coming back down, where can we find our pullback? Where can the pullback end? So this is what I'm gonna go through. This is the end of the week, so we need to know how the market closes and what we can do about it, because remember, the weekly chart will always tell you what's gonna happen. Obviously there's a lot of things happening in between, but I'm gonna explain to you how you actually can see the market and how it looks like. Remember, I am no financial advisor, so you need to look up everything yourself first, but please continue watching this video, and I'm gonna show you one more time what I see on Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. If you want to trade any of these cryptos and you are an experienced trader, ByBit is one of my favorite swing trader platforms, and right now you can use up to $1,645 in bonus depending on what you're depositing. PrimeXbt is one of my favorite day trader platforms, and with my link you're getting 50% added to your deposit, and all of the info is in the description below. We're starting off with Bitcoin on the daily as usual. We can even go to the weekly. We have a huge bullish candlestick right now. We did break this previous resistance around 60,000, and we're still above. I got 3 targets for us right now to see if we'll have a pullback. Market doesn't have to come back down to these targets. Remember, it's always good to have targets so you can see is it breaking the first target, coming back to the second target, does it break it, does it hold, you have the third target. Don't try to have too many targets on the charts, because it's just gonna be too much for you, and you're trying to keep your mind simple looking at the charts, because remember, it's always trading over the overall picture is very hard with trading. So trying to make everything as simple as possible is something that I recommend you, because if you're starting to have levels like this, you have no idea what you're looking for. You have no idea, like, okay, it comes to this level, but what do I do? What do I do now? So try to keep it simple, stupid, okay, guys? I'm just trying to give you very good advice. Why I took these levels right here is because this was the previous resistance that we did have around 59,000. Market broke it. You have the second target, and that's around 53,000, and that's because you had a support. You had a new support. The market broke the support, previous resistance, also almost a resistance, broke it, came back down, and then you saw the huge movement from this area. Do have this third target around 59,000, because that was also where the market broke the downtrend, came back and made an uptrend, and now we saw the market have the huge volatility from this previous resistance turning into a support. These are the 3 targets that I have, that if we are seeing the market starting to pull back, we have them, and I took it from the daily chart, so obviously those are very respected. If you compare it to maybe a 15 minutes chart, it's easier for the market to just spike through 15 minutes instead of the daily chart. So that's why I'm having these targets. We can just have this right now on the weekly. You have this previous weekly wick right here that we're having trouble breaking, and you can see that when the market came to 61,000, almost 62,000, market had trouble, broke to the downside. So what can happen right now is that you can see the market coming up a little bit more, comes to 61,500-ish, comes back down again, and we're having the first target around 59,000. And after that, we just have to wait and see what's actually going to happen, if it's going to continue up or if it's going to continue back down. We do have, the market is right now in a little box also. We had the little box right here since yesterday. Market broke to the downside. It creates a new box right here. So what we have to wait and see if the market's actually going to come back down to this support that I'm having right here, and then you see a movement to the upside, or if it's going to break the box to the upside, and we're coming back up and retest 61,500 instead of breaking it to the downside. So you see breakout, retest, continuation to the upside. As I told you before, when we're coming to huge levels like this, it usually comes back down a little bit more, And we just might see the market coming up to this previous high that we did have, and then you see the movement to the downside. If we're looking at the weekly, so it looks like we're gonna close like this, and if we're closing like this with huge momentum, I do believe we will continue to the upside even more, because we're looking at candlestick on the weekly the same way we're doing it at all the other time frames. That's very important because the weekly is showing us where we are heading. Okay, we have a doji at a resistance, we just might come back down right now, or we are at a support and we're having engulfing candle. Okay, engulfing candles at a support tells us that that's a reversal pattern. Combined with other things, going down to the lower time frames, obviously we will have other things happening, especially on the 15 minutes. That's why you always have to zoom out to see, okay, but on the weekly, the market tells me we are on our way up. But on the 4 hour, we're on our way down. That's just a pullback. When the pullback is over, you're buying the market. So when we did have this huge bearish candlestick right here and engulfed so many weeks, that told you, hey, we're going down right now. And this candle right here the week after was a lot of things that did happen. We just have to find out what happens, what can we do about it. We can even go back and see. Okay, so I'm just gonna zoom these two out like this. I'm gonna have the break, I'm gonna have the replay, so we're not gonna confuse ourselves. We're going down to the lower time frames. So this was the break on what happened. So this was the first week, that was the second week. Going down to the lower time frames, you could see it was a lot of things happening from this area. Okay, we did have a huge downtrend, we did have that, but going down to the 15 minutes, it was a lot of other things that happened. You can see that we did have a uptrend right here. This was the uptrend that we did have. So if you're just looking at 15 minutes, you'll be so confused and don't understand what's actually happening. But on the higher time frames, we know that we are in a downtrend. We are in a downtrend. We're having huge bearish candlestick to the downside. So why are you buying in a market? If you're not just buying the pullback, that's okay. But if you're having huge bearish candlestick like this on the weekly going down to the lower time frames, you'll understand why the pullback happening, when it happens, when it's over. You just have to figure everything out, but using different time frames to see that. Looking at Ethereum, we can still see that we just have been playing around right here. We never had the power to close above 3,900, so we are on our way down too. We can see how it looks on the weekly, and we can also have some levels right here. We can take Fibonacci from low to the high. The low is 3487, the high is 3875. So this is the first target that we can, not the first target, but this is definitely in an area around 3,600, and I've been talking about this the whole week, I think. And we can see the market coming back down to that. No, not the whole week, but a couple of days. That is one target that we can have if we're having the pullback, because we have to have in mind, okay, we are at a high right now. This is the resistance. We did have a huge wick on the daily. This tells us that the market maybe not have the power right now to break it. And if we're going to the lower time frames, we are starting to have a downtrend right here. You can see how we did have the maintaining higher high, higher low, higher high, low. We broke this previous higher low, created a low, created a lower high, because it never had the power to break this high right here. We just might come back down now and create a lower low, and you see the market going down to the Fibonacci level, and then you just might see the market breaking the downtrend that we're having on the smaller time frames. And then you are seeing the continuation of the uptrend, because this is how the market moves all the time. Market moves sideways, it goes up, it breaks it, go back down, sideways. These only three things that the market is doing all the time. You just always have to figure out, in what market am I right now? The market goes up, I need to find my higher low. Market goes down, I need to find my lower high. We are in a sideways market. Maybe I should not trade right now because the market just goes up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. A consolidation market, you really have to know, okay, where do I put my stop loss? Where do I take my take profit? In an uptrend or a downtrend, you can have a bigger take profits because the market is moving way faster, or it's gonna create a new high or a new low. On a sideways market, the market just goes up and down, up and down, up and down, usually from support to resistance a couple of times, and until it decides to break to the upside or to the downside. Looking at Ethereum right now, we are looking at the 1 hour chart. You can also see that we do have this head and shoulder right here, because one of the targets is around 3,600. This could just be a possible head and shoulders. Market breaks the neckline right here, comes back up. It can come back up and retest it, and then you see the continuation. If you're not a part of Bitcoin Census community, please, we're talking about cryptocurrencies every single day on our Telegram group. So I do have a link below that you can go into and be a part of our wonderful community. You have a lot of good people right there talking about cryptocurrencies. So if you are interested of talking about it, you're more than welcome. Please subscribe to this channel if you want to have daily updates on cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin and Ethereum. And if there's some pair you want me to look at, please tell me so I can use it on the next video. Give this video a thumb up. Please share it with your friends, because I'm really trying to make it very simple for you guys to understand this. Have a great week, and we'll see each other in tomorrow's live or in tomorrow's video. Have a good day. Bye bye.